Hi, I'm Doerr with Packaging Validators. I've been in the packaging industry for over 30 years. Today we're just going to do a short explanation of what shrink sleeve labeling is all about. Most of you may be familiar with stickers, also known as pressure sensitive labels. You come on a roll and you stick them on whatever you want. In the packaging industry, most containers that you see, kind of like this one, have labels that are applied either by hand or with a machine. And you'd apply these to the middle of the container, just like this. But they don't cover the whole container, they just cover the front and generally a small area. Here's some other examples. This is the typical glue. You'll notice there's a pressure sensitive or sticky label on the front and another pressure sensitive or PS label on the back. The sides and the neck area, as well as the closure or cap area, don't have any decoration on them. And then here's an example of a typical beverage product that has a front pressure sensitive label and a side pressure sensitive label with nutrition facts and ingredients information and such. Again, there are significant spots or gaps where there is no label. We'll talk about that in another video, but today we're talking about shrink sleeves. Shrink sleeves allow for 360-degree decoration around the bottle, so the entire bottle is decorated. In the case of smaller containers, it even can come up and cover the top of the closure or cap for tamper evidence. Here's another example. This white shrink sleeve goes all the way up to the top, over the top, and acts as tamper evidence. That way, people know when they buy the product that nobody's been in it or tampered with it. So how do shrink sleeves work and why do people use them? Well, there's three materials for shrink sleeves. They're thin layers of plastic film that shrink. You generally need to keep them under about 85 degrees Fahrenheit or they'll start to shrink on you. It's very important that they don't shrink before you put them on the container. In this case, we have a cut band. In other cases, we get what are called continuous rolls. This roll would end up on a much larger version of this, and they're applied automatically with a machine. So, a cut band sleeve is applied over the top of the container like this, and then it goes through a steam tunnel or a shrink tunnel, and afterwards, when it's been shrunk on, it looks like that. So in this case again, we have a tamper evident sleeve because the cap or closure is covered, and the consumer can feel safe that when they purchase this, that nobody's been inside the bottle or done anything with it. One of the best designs of all time goes to this container of lemon juice. If you'll notice, it looks like a lemon is literally sitting on top of the bottle. But what we have here is a cylindrical base with grooves in it. The grooves add stability to the container so it doesn't expand and contract as easily. And then we've got a compound curve lemon-shaped ball up at the top. With a traditional pressure sensitive label, it would be very difficult to get this to stay on without having wrinkles in it because it's a compound curve. It's impossible to put a flat label on a compound curve and not have wrinkles. It's just a matter of physics. So in this case, we're able to squeeze the label by shrinking it up around the top of the container, and it has 360-degree decoration. You'll notice there are no open gaps where there's not green, yellow, and other colors of decoration on the container. The same thing again here with the lime juice. And you'll notice even again on an imported brand from Italy that they've got that same compound curve lemon shape going. What are some of the other advantages of shrink sleeves? Well, you can design your bottle or container to get a point across. So this is for a probiotic smoothie. It's giving you a contour, showing how it can contour your body as well. So there's other advantages to the marketing and advertising that are associated with a particular brand, and a shrink sleeve shows that off very well. Here's another example. And then somebody might ask, well, why does this container have a pressure sensitive label and the same or similar type of brand has a shrink sleeve on it? Well, here's why. This is water. It does have electrolytes and things that have been added to it, but it's a straight walled container, meaning the walls are straight up and down. So I can easily wrap a label around this, in this case a clear no label look BOPP label, and it looks excellent and clean sitting on the store shelf. With the compound curve that you'll notice with this bottle and the taper that's associated with it, it also has these contoured ribs or lines. Those contours or ribs aren't made for easy gripping like most of you would think, or to be able to chuck the bottle somewhere. Those grooves or ribs are again designed for container stability. Typically, a lot of products are what are called hot filled. So when they go into the bottle, that liquid goes in with an automatic liquid filler, the liquid is hot or at least warm. When it's above a certain temperature, this plastic becomes very flexible and has a tendency to want to either what's called panel in or expand. Once that happens, it's very difficult for a label to go on cleanly. So the ribs are put in it. Well, with the ribs, again, it's difficult to get a pressure sensitive label not to wrinkle when there's all these ribs in here. So a shrink sleeve works perfectly. You try to sleeve down over the top, run it through a steam tunnel, and it contours to your bottle. So, in summary, why do people use shrink sleeves? Well, number one, you get 360-degree decoration. Number two, you're able to get an integrated tamper seal with the container. And third, you're able to create for a contour on containers that simply have too many grooves or compound curves to be able to label with a flat, pressure-sensitive label, PS label, sticky label. And that's all for today on shrink sleeves.